8 years ago, I couldn't even recognize the girl in the mirror. I was unhealthy, out of shape, insecure, and later got into a toxic relationship. I also loved going out, loved partying, but I was really just numbing myself with alcohol and substances. I was stuck in survival mode. After my breakup, I had to move back in with my parents because I couldn't afford to live on my own, and I had hit rock bottom. Flash forward to now, I've been able to build a multi-six-figure business. I'm in a healthy marriage with the love of my life. I've been able to help transform hundreds of women's lives, and I've stepped on stage as a bodybuilder too. And looks like we have a special guest in today's video. But my transformation did not happen in 6 months. It has taken me 8 years of heartbreak, rock bottoms, discipline, faith, but most importantly, radical responsibility. This is not just gonna be a how to glow up video. This is gonna be a blueprint of what it really takes to transform your life inside and out. Chapter number 1, fear will try to keep you small, move anyway. When I was 20 years old, I was deep into the party scene. I was drinking, I was going to raves, and I was dating someone that was making me question my own self-worth every day. I knew I was not living to my full potential, and sometimes I even daydreamed of what my life could look like if I wasn't trapped in that relationship. But fear kept me in the cycle. What if I failed? What if I ended up alone? What if I couldn't find someone better? But fear is not a stop sign, it's a test. And at 21, I was broken up with miserably, and my relationship ended horribly. And that's when I pretty much lost everything and I had to start all over again. I moved back in with my parents. Not only was I broke financially, but I was also heartbroken. But that pain was actually a gift because it forced me to rebuild my life with no plan B. So if you're scared, if you've hit rock bottom, that's a good sign. It means you're about to grow. You just have to move anyway, regardless of what fear says. Chapter number 2, change your systems, not just your mindset. Back in 2017, when I first started my fitness journey, I thought I had a motivation problem. I hated going to the gym. I absolutely dreaded it. And I would just nap and binge eat in my room after my classes. I thought I needed more discipline, more grit, more motivation, more willpower. But I didn't need any of that. I just needed a new system. So in 2018, I started tracking my macros. I started setting goals, walking 8 to 10K steps per day, and scheduling gym sessions 4 to 5 times per week. I started treating them as meetings that I could not cancel on. And this was when I was in the thick of college. I got my bachelor's in 2 years, so I was taking the most credits that you could take in a semester. But I still made time for my health because I started implementing systems into my life. Now that I've built those systems, I still use them today in my daily life. I meal prep, I write down my goals and schedule. I even track every dollar that comes in and out of my business accounts and my personal accounts. Because success is not always just about trying harder. It's about building systems that make it harder to fail. But if you want to change your life, you're going to need to change your environment, change your calendar, and change your default settings too. Which brings me to chapter number 3 is stop planning and start doing. Flash forward a few years later, after I had lost the weight, I started to launch my fitness business. But I was also terrified. I wanted it to be perfect. I had lists and journals and ideas just full of all of these plans. But I realized that I was using planning to avoid taking action. So then I launched it messy because messy action is better than no action. I signed my first few clients with no fancy website, no fancy logo. I didn't even have Align Fitness as the name. It was called Hallie June Fit. I just had a belief that I could help them because I had transformed my body with fitness and I wanted to do the same for other women. Then a few months later, my business started to grow and I was faced with a decision. I could keep my stable job, which I was working as a substitute teacher at the time when I first launched my coaching business, or I could quit my job, bet on myself, and go all in on my dream. It took me months to finally decide to hire a mentor because I thought I could do it on my own. But when I did, I went all in. And the first mentor that I hired was $400 a month. And when I was living in San Diego, one of the most expensive cities in the US, living on a substitute teacher salary, that was a very big chunk for me. But I said, screw it. I need to do this. I need to invest in myself if I want to live out my dream life. So I quit my job, and the next month I hired that mentor with no other stable income coming in. That's because in order to reach a goal, you can't let fear hold you back, and you also need to take messy action. You have to take risks even when you're feeling fear and even if you don't know how it's going to work out, because the other option is to stay stuck where you're at. And I'm so glad I made that decision because since then, Align Fitness has grown into such an amazing team, and we've been able to help over 1,000 women all around the globe the last 4 years. And I've been able to build a brand that changes lives. So Stop waiting until you feel ready to do something. Yes, you need a plan. I'm a huge planner, but at some point you do have to take action. You become great by doing, not just planning. Chapter 4, be kind to others, but ruthless with your standards. Right now, I hold myself to a very high standard, but 8 years ago, I had no standards. I was staying out late partying multiple times per week. I was eating like crap whenever I wanted. I was sleeping in and just wasting time watching pointless YouTube videos that weren't really adding any value to my life. But now I track my macros. I rarely eat junk food. I don't skip my workouts on purpose. I show up for my clients, my team, and myself even when I'm feeling tired. But I also lead with empathy and love because I was broken once, so I totally get it. I know what it feels like to feel lost and ashamed and unconfident in your body. So that's why I don't enable excuses, but I also don't shame them. I challenge my clients because I love them. And I challenge myself because I also love who I'm becoming. So if you want a high-level life, your standard cannot be based on your mood. It has to be based on your mission and the vision you have for your life. Chapter number 5 is don't just chase the results, but enjoy the journey. For years, I was chasing something. Validation, love, money, confidence, weight loss. But every time I hit a goal, I would still feel unfulfilled until I stopped chasing and I finally started showing up and just being present in the moment that I was in. That doesn't mean that you don't set goals. I still have so many goals in my life too that I'm working towards. But now I'm just grateful for the journey, and I'm also finding joy in the process of getting to the goal too. When I meal prep now, it's not because I hate my body and I want to be smaller and smaller. It's because I feel grateful to be able to eat nutrient-dense foods that help me operate at my highest level. When I'm lifting weights, it's not just to change my body or if I hate my body and I don't like how I look. It's because I feel empowered and I want to feel strong, and lifting weights helps me feel good, and I know that I deserve to feel good in my body. I work out also for my mental health too, and to devote time for me because I deserve to invest time into myself, and you should view your fitness journey the same exact way. I found peace when I realized that even after you hit a goal, there's always going to be something else that you're working towards after that too. So you need to enjoy the process and the journey and just be proud of the person you are right now. And when you realize that, you stop obsessing over outcomes and results, and you just start enjoying the moment and the process more. Chapter number 6, your prayers come with pressure. I used to pray and manifest and dream of having a business and a husband and all of these amazing things. A life full of impact. But God is not just gonna hand it to you. If you have big dreams and a big goal, then you need to be given opportunities to learn those skills and those character traits that you need to achieve that goal. You need to first become the type of woman who can carry those blessings. And so that means God has also given me setbacks, betrayal, slow seasons, exhaustion, and doubt. Because when you pray for strength, you're gonna be given a battle. When you pray for success, you're gonna be given pressure. And when you pray for alignment, He's gonna reveal what's not aligned. So the pressure that you feel right now is not punishment, but it's preparation for the next level. If you want to accomplish big things, then you need to be able to withstand the pain, the challenge, and the pressure that comes with it. Changing your body and your entire life to have your dream body and your dream life is not going to be easy. And it's not supposed to be easy. That's the whole point. Because if it was, everyone would be doing this. And that is why most people quit. It took me 8 years to become this version of me. But it doesn't have to take you that long if you follow the steps in this video. But also know that growth is not going to happen in a rush. There were of course seasons where I wanted to quit, where I was questioning myself, but I kept showing up, tracking my food, doing the workouts, writing down the vision, writing down the goals, failing, making a mistake, but getting up and trying again. Because the life you dreamed of isn't reserved for someone else. It's reserved for the version of you who steps out in faith and stops letting fear hold her back. But if you want to hear all of the lessons I learned and the mistakes I made on my fitness journey so you don't have to make those same mistakes, just click on this video here.